Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to June's Kitchen. Right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make some ribs in the oven with some orange. That orange for it. Got some of this. I'm gonna add some of this to it. And right now, what I have this here is going to be for the ribs. The celery in there, the cilantro, bay leaves, rosemary, and here on this little bowl here, it's almost the same thing, but this one is for the rice because I'm gonna make some rice, and the rice is gonna have gandules in it. So now what I'm going to do, oh, and I have all this here. These are all ingredients that are going to go pretty much with ribs, vegetables. So that's what's for dinner today in June's Kitchen. And we'll be right back. All right, so now, folks, what we're going to do is we're going to cut the pork. These are pork strips, and we're going to cut them into small pieces, and we're going to put them right here. Pieces like this, okay? Always make sure you wash your hands before you do all this. And you keep a towel next to it, right there. So you dry your hands and everything. Always make sure you wash you clean your meat before even though it comes back and everything, you never know, so you want to wash it. You know. Just give it a nice rinse, and good. One pieces. See? Now, here we have some oil on the pot. Here you can see. If you can see it, and that oil is heating up. And what we're going to do is with the oil, we are going to put meat, the meat that we cut into cubes. And here we have all this. This is red onions. Red onions, red peppers, green peppers, orange peppers. And then this got cilantro, parsley, bay leaf, and rosemary and celery. So all this, and then we're gonna add some garlic, and then we're gonna saute that, and then we're gonna add the gandules. So once the meat is cooked, we start adding some of the other ingredients. We add the gandules, and then the last thing, and then we season it. We add some seasonings, sazon, adobo, a little bit of black pepper, oregano, and most of this right here has flavor, so you don't need to add like salt and all that stuff like that. Adobo will do, just the taste. So and then we'll let that cook. That's the rice, and then after that we'll cut the ribs, and season the ribs and put them in the oven. And we have a whole bunch of vegetables that are going to go in the ribs in the same pan with the ribs. But first, we're going to cook the ribs. When they're almost done, we'll put the vegetables. So into then, here's the ribs. They're waiting. They're waiting. So now all that is going to go into the oil, and the oil is ready. So that's next. Now the chicken, the chunks of pork are cooking, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this here. If you can see, if you follow me, all this is going in there. See that? It's all going in there. Okay. And I'm also gonna put a few other things in here. Okay. We're gonna put the cilantro, parsley, celery, rosemary, and basil. We're gonna put that with the meat, and I'm gonna get this spoon here. And I'm gonna move this around. Now it's already got the peppers and the onions, so we're gonna put all this other stuff in here. You had the smell of vision? Oh my goodness. So that's that. Then we have, and we also put some sazon already on the meat. This is garlic. Oh, actually, this is minced ginger. I'm gonna put a little bit on the rice and a little bit also on the meat, just a little bit. And with some of the oil, I'm gonna shake that around. The waist up, so you want to spill it, and we're going to add some of the ingredients that's on that wall. Now up here, we got garlic powder, and since we're going to use garlic powder on the ribs, I'm going to leave it out here. One of the reasons I said earlier, you gotta always make sure that you wash your hands, is because you might have to do stuff like this. This is oregano, and it's dry oregano. And now it's powder. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some of this oregano in. This is for the ribs, and I'm gonna add oregano to it. Yep. And put this cap back on there. And we're done with this. And this is, I always shake the stuff. It's Mrs. Dash. As you can see, it's salt free. It's not salty. So just, you see me put on a lot of stuff, you might think, oh my God, it's making it spicy. No. A lot of the stuff I'm putting in the flavor. The garlic powder is powdered. It's not garlic salt. The oregano. This doesn't have salt. And the stuff that you saw me put, the cilantro and all that, those are flavors. Now I am gonna put adobo, which has a little bit of salt, and that's the only salt that I'm gonna put on there, and some black pepper. Other than that, all the ingredients come from the cilantro, the onions, and all that. So this here, I don't know. There. And I won't need this, so I'll put it away. Now I need the adobo. Adobo, is this it? Yep. This is the adobo. Put about a teaspoon of it. And I'm gonna save this out here because I'm also gonna use it on the ribs. So I'll do it out here. Now, and this around. Oh wow. So this is what this looks like when it's cooking. You see, this is all the meat and celery and all that stuff that's gonna go on the rice. Now I'm gonna let that cook. I'm gonna cover it up, boom, and you let that cook. And when all that is cooked and everything, all those flavors marinate, then we add the rice. You clean the rice and then you put it in there, and then you put the water on there. You know, put some water on there, and then you taste it for flavor. See if you like what it tastes like. And so now what we're going to do is I'm going to cut the ribs. Can you see them? Those are ribs. I'm going to cut them into strips, and then I'm going to start seasoning them and all that, and they're going on the oven. So that's it for now. Now, after the rice is you clean the rice, you put it in there with the meat and all that stuff, and you let it heat up for a little bit. You mix it up real good so it can look like this. Then you want to add this to it. You want to add the gandules to it, pigeon peas. So you put the whole thing in there. Yeah. And we're gonna use two of them. We're gonna use two cans. And here comes the second one. And you mix it in there. See? Yeah. Then you're gonna mix that up real good. All right. And when you mix it up real good, you're gonna add some warm or hot water to it. I got some right here. And this I use the same thing where I had the peppers and the cilantro and all that. I use the same little bowl. And now what I do is I let the water run nice and warm and hot, and I use the cans. And I shake some water into the cans and I put it in there. And what you want to do is you want the water to cover your rice, about a quarter over the rice. No matter how much rice you have in a pot, you want the water to be about a quarter of an inch over the rice. No matter how much rice or how less rice you have, and your rice is guaranteed always to come out right. I learned that from my mom. Yeah, she taught me a lot of what I know. So this is what it should look like when you put all the water in there. Okay. You make sure it's mixed nice and good. and the water's covering the rice. And then what you do is you let that water boil. You put the heat up a little bit, and you put the heat up some more, like that. And you're gonna cover it up until it starts to boil. Once it starts to boil real good, then you lower the heat and you let it cook. Everything else already cooked, the meat and everything. So you just let those flavors marinate and you let the water evaporate and you steam and it softens the rice. And that will take about a good 25 minutes. So into then, now, we have everything we need on the rice. The rice is steaming. We lower the fire. As you can see, the fire's real low. And there goes the rice. And we're going to let that cook until all the water dissolves. And now we have the ribs cut. We cut the ribs. So now what we're going to do is we're going to season them. We're going to season the ribs. And we're going to add, the vegetables are going to be added later. But right now, what we're going to do is we're going to season the ribs. Make sure your hands are clean again, always, because you're going to play with the meat. So you want to make sure you clean up your hands. I mean, you got your towel right here, so you can dry your hands. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to put some sazon on the ribs. If you can see them. So we're going to spread it around some. A lot of people like to boil the ribs. I do that when I'm going to put them in the grill. When I do them in the oven, I don't see no reason to do that because I want them to take the time and marinate and get all these flavors that I'm going to add. Now, what we're going to do, I put 3 envelopes, 3 of these, to that amount of ribs. So now, what we're going to do to get rid of this, we are going to add garlic powder. About 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. Put it away. And then we have adobo. We're going to put some adobo on there. Now remember that the adobo has salt. So you don't want to go crazy on with the adobo. I would say for that amount of ribs, about 2 teaspoons would do. And we have black pepper here, which we're going to put some black pepper on there. Oops. Wait a minute. There it is. There it is. And that's good. That's good about black pepper. Then I have barbecue rub. This one came from my son. Jose, I'm using it. So my son gave me this. And so I'm going to use it on the ribs. And about 2.5 teaspoons of this. And I'll put this one back in here. Then we have ginger. It's chopped ginger. See if you can see it. So I'm gonna put some of that. Where's the spoon? In there. Two and a half spoons of this, like this. And then I have pico de gallo. What is pico de gallo? Is you can make your own. It's just tomatoes chopped up real, into small little tiny pieces, onions, celery, cilantro, parsley, and he has vinaigrette, like a vinaigrette, and it smells good. Oh my God, it smells good. Well, you only put a little bit of that in there. You don't need a lot. About 3 to 4 teaspoons I put. Because I have my own chopped up stuff, parsley, cilantro, rosemary, basil. I'll put this in the refrigerator. And he has oregano also. Remember this? So this is going to go in there. But before I put that in there, one more time. Just to make sure my hands are clean. In your hands. Put my towel right here. And I have Larry's. See it? Herb and garlic. So I'm going to put a little bit of this. Well, I'm going to put about 1, 2, 3, 4. About 4 teaspoons of it. And then I have these. These are oranges. So get your chopping board and cut them into pieces because they're going in there too. Pieces like that size. You could use fresh orange. You can cut it yourself, or you could buy it like this already cut. And you want to cut it, get them up in small pieces. And then yeah. So you have to have patience when you cook. When you cook, you have to have patience because some of the stuff, takes time. But to me, it's a relaxing thing. It relaxes me when I cook. I enjoy it because it's a creative process. And I was told by someone that a lot of the stuff that I do is about creating. And I never thought about that. I love creating things. I love painting, and writing, making up my own stories and stuff. And I didn't realize that that's what it was, that I have a creative personality, I was told. I don't know if that's true or not, but I do love creating, And there you go. This is done. Took me a little bit there, but That I chopped them up. And then the last slice of the orange, guess where it's going? Mm. It's that my sweet. That's perfect. So now, what I have here is the juice from that. Put that in there. And this, just don't want to get rid of this. So now we have this, you see, with all the ingredients, seasoning wise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this to it. This is the celery, cilantro, rosemary, basil, oregano. And I'm going to add that to it. And then I'm going to mix it up real good. Then I'm going to add the oranges. And I have honey. And I have orange glaze. Actually, it's jelly you put on a bread like a smuggler's. But I'm going to add some of that to it. And that's going to go on the ribs. And they're going to cook. I have sauce here that I'm also going to use on the ribs later on. First, I want to cook it with these things first. You get that flavor. And I got all kinds of vegetables here. Let's see. I got corn on the cob already cut. I have mushrooms already cut. I got potatoes, baby potatoes, peppers and onions also, broccoli, baby carrots. All this is going into the with the ribs once they're almost cooked. About maybe a good 20 minutes before they're done, I'll add this rest of the stuff. And then I got more peppers and onions in here that I'm gonna chop and add to it. And, okay, so now a little water so I can get some of the stuff that's in here. And that's in there. Now, I don't know if you can see, but while we do it, let me see if I can somehow get the camera to go down. Hold on. Oh, wow. Al, help me fix this. Okay. There you go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to mix all this together. You got all the seasonings in there and everything. So hands are washed. Now we're going to do this. You're going to play with the food, So, how you tell your kids don't play with the food. So, as an adult, you have an excuse to play with the food. You're cooking it. So, you want to squeeze that in there. You want to mix it up real good because you want these ingredients. You don't want them to fall out into the pot. I got a little pot over here, and they falls in there, and sometimes the food doesn't want to stay. Like, so there. Now it's mixed, nice and mixed. And what we're going to do is we are going to put the orange here. And we're going to mix it also. And when you're doing this, don't be afraid to squeeze, Yeah. It ain't gonna slap you. Sorry about that. Okay. So now, once again, you gotta wash your hands. Yeah. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the spoon and we're gonna add this to it. Now the oven is heated at 350. The oven is at 350, so it's preheating. So now we add this to it. And we're gonna put the whole jar in there, by the way. So this will have a rig. It's all right. As much as you can out of it. Look at that. I don't say that. If you ain't gonna bake me, food don't talk right here. I have fun, I should have a little fun when I cook. Use my imagination. Okay, so that's you use the whole thing. Then the money. Use any kind of honey. They don't have like a favorite kind of honey. So how much did I put? Let's see. This thing is brand new. Almost half. Almost half, because this half it was up in here. These I used a quarter of this container. Okay, it was up to here, and I used about a quarter of it. So that for this amount of ribs, and when you mix it up, you want to mix it up real good. Now, a little bit of foil. A little bit of foil. Okay, before I cover it, this is what it looks like. Until you mix all that with it. And it's going into the oven. I don't know if you can see the oven. Well, that's where it's going. So there it is. It's in the oven. And see what the rice look like. The rice is already almost done. Mm. If you had smell-o-vision, oh wow. So for now, we're gonna wait, and the rice is almost done, and we're gonna wait till the ribs are almost done, and then we'll work on the vegetables. What I might do is I might do the vegetables separate with butter and garlic instead of mixing it with the ribs because the pan for the ribs is not big enough. So I'm gonna make the vegetables separate. Okay? So see you in a bit. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the vegetables. You got all the vegetables. There's corn, baby potatoes, baby carrots, broccoli, mushrooms. You name it, it's in here. And I'm gonna put it in the steamer. And that's the steamer. And I'll cover it up and let the vegetables steam. And then when they're done, I might put a little vinaigrette over them, the rest of this, to get some kind of flavor, or I might garlic butter them. I'm not sure, but that's pretty much it. So you're gonna have steamed vegetables, arroz con gandules, and pork, something pork, and the ribs in the oven. So that's the dinner. Enjoy. The final product is done. Okay, this is what the ribs look like. See the ribs. Now the rice. And the steamed vegetables. Yeah. So that's all of it right there. You got the steamed vegetables. It's got corn, potatoes, carrots, broccoli, celery, you name it, it's in there. Your rice and your ribs. And that, my friend, is what's for dinner. Buen provecho. Bon appetit.